In this week's episode of Working with Todoist, I'm going to show you the easiest way to set up the 2+8 prioritization system. Hello and welcome to another episode of Working with Todoist. My name is Pullein, and in this week's episode it's all about my 2+8 prioritization system. Now, if you add 2+8 together, you get 10. That's the whole concept of this prioritization system. Now, I've seen many people's Todoist today list, and quite frankly, some people are incredibly optimistic about what they can actually get done each day. Now, realistically, we have lots of distractions coming at us that are just completely unknown when we start the day. We get bosses asking us to do things for us which were not planned. We get customers calling us, which requires us to do something immediately. And of course, we've got colleagues asking us for help. Now, all of those things are completely unpredictable. We just don't know what's going to be thrown at us each day. But if on top of that, you have a to-do list that's telling you to do 30 things today, then something is going to break. Now, usually that's your to-do list, because usually we end up doing the loudest and noisiest things that come our way. So to overcome that and to actually start getting a little bit more realistic about what you can do, I developed what I call my 2+8 prioritization system. And essentially what it is you each day you have 2 objective tasks which must get done, and 8 other tasks that you consider to be important enough to get done that day, but it wouldn't be a disaster if you didn't get them done. Now, there's various ways to set this up. You can use labels, but to me, the easiest way to do this is to use your next 7 days filter, which comes in all versions of Todoist, and the flagging system. And in this week's episode, I'm going to show you how to do this when you combine it with the golden 10, which I've talked about many times in this episode. So before we go any further though, I would like to say, if you do like this video, please click on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. Okay, let's go into Todoist and I will show you how to do it. Okay, so what we've got here is a list of 16 tasks that I've got scheduled for tomorrow. So imagine that we're now doing, it's the end of the day, I've finished for the day, and what I want to do now is to use the 2+8 prioritization system to actually plan my day for tomorrow. So the way I do this is I use red flags for my objectives, I use orange flags for morning tasks, and I use yellow flags for afternoon tasks. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look through this list of tasks that I've got for tomorrow and think, right, which are my 2 objective tasks for tomorrow? So I'm going to look at this and think, right, I do need to talk to Derek about next week's client meeting, because the client meeting with Abacus is on Monday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my 3 ellipses at the side here, and I'm just going to add that with a red flag. That's something that I want to do tomorrow. Now imagine that I've actually got a problem because I can't get into the building because I do need a new security card from the HR department. It's something I must do first thing in the morning, so I'm going to hit that with a red flag. So now I've got my 2 red flags. Now the way to do this, by the way, I'm going to go into the next 7 days. It's going to work a bit better because we're looking at for tomorrow here. So this is the view that you want to actually go into. So now I'm going to look for tasks that I want to actually complete in the morning. Now, for me, I tend to do my most creative tasks in the morning. So what I'd be looking for is tasks that I've actually got creativity. Well, I will need some kind of creativity. So things like ordering a new journal from Amazon, that's not actually something I need to be creative about. These tasks down here are not really creative related, but I've got my 2 objective tasks, so that's really important. But I just noticed as I was going through this, I do need to talk to Tom about asking for a 2-week extension for Project X deadline. And I know that Tom's in the office tomorrow morning, so I'm going to hit that with an orange flag. And what you notice is as I go through this list, these are coming up into some kind of order. But I'm also looking for my creative tasks. So writing 500 words of next week's blog, of course, that's a creative. Planning out a topics for this month's staff meeting, that's creative because I need to think about that. So I'm going to add that one. Finished presentation file for meeting on Monday. Again, I'm going to create that as an objective task. Now, what I generally do is for my morning task, I'm looking for around about 4. It's just a nice balance. But of course, some days that's not possible. You're going to be finding that maybe you have 3 morning tasks and 5 afternoon. It doesn't really matter. It's just looking for a kind of balance. So as I go down my list, I'm thinking, okay, yes, I do need to send Jasmine the end of year purchase order. So I'm going to do that in the afternoon. She's been asking me for that. Clean out last year, that's not really that important. As I go down this list, the new that's not really important. Obviously, downloading Armin van Buren State of Trance album, that's not really. Oh, update this week's sales report. Yes, I know I have to do that. It's Friday, let's imagine, so I'm going to do that in the afternoon. I did promise Dr. Kim that I would do proofread his journal article, so I'm going to do that. And I should send out next Monday's meeting. So as I look down here, now I've got my 4 tasks. So I've got 4 afternoon tasks, 4 morning tasks, and 2 objective tasks. That's 10 tasks in total for tomorrow. The thing is, of course, I've got these other ones to do here, but these I have made the decision are not vital to be done tomorrow. Or I could do them if I have time, or I could do them the next day. It's not that important. Now, that's all well and good, and when you see your today list tomorrow, in fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change these now. I'm going to change these to today so that you'll see what this looks like in today's view. So normally we do the planning the night before, but I'm going to change this now to today. So I'm going to change that one to today. So we're now going to our today view. So if you don't do anything else, at least you've got, so if you don't have filters, for example, at least what you're going to have is your 8 tasks or your 10 tasks for the day are going to be at the top of your list, which is very good. But for those of you who are using the premium version of Todoist, you have a little secret weapon, and that's this one. So what you can do then is you can create filters. Now the objective one is very simple. You just say, if I go in there and show you, it's today and P1. Now the reason I use today is simply because some tasks, like if I had an exercise goal, my exercise for the day would be an objective, and therefore I would pre-flag that, and I don't want to see that coming up every single day, particularly if it's not an exercise day. So today and P1. To simplify the next one, which I call today's focus, these are the 8 other tasks that I want to get done. I have it down quite simply as today and exclamation mark, which means not P4. Now the reason why I want to see my objectives is I might not get to doing one of my objectives till later in the day. So I don't want to be switching between views. I just want to be seeing one view for the day. So let's save that one. So what we'll do now is if I go into my objectives, I just see the 2 things that I have to do today. Now that view could be set up as my morning view, whatever I want to do. That can be however way I want to do it. But the way I would spend my day then is in today's focus. Now, normally this is actually zoomed in, but if we zoom out, you would have all your tasks for the day in one view. And it's just those 10 tasks. That's not an overwhelming list. But as I said in the introduction, we've got to be realistic about our lives. Yes, sure, we would love to get 30 tasks done for the day. That is great. Yeah, I would love to do that. But reality is that life is not quite so predictable, and we have usually customers, bosses, colleagues, family members and friends who are likely to send us an email, a text message or something that's going to need attention today. So we have to be realistic about what we can actually achieve. But if you do it this way, you are going to be achieving 10 tasks that are important every single day. And the beauty of that is at the end of the month, that is going to be 300 tasks. At the end of 10 months, that's 3,000 tasks. Imagine what you could accomplish if you follow this system. And as long as you make sure you get these things done, once you've done these, so as I say, if I get these done and bang, 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 I check them all off, and then I can go into my today view, I have the only ones that are remaining are things like this. So if I have time at the end of the day, I think, oh yeah, calling the dentist, no problem. I will quickly make the phone call, make that appointment, clean out last year's files. Oh, I'm not in the mood for doing that. Okay, I can just shift that off and do that for tomorrow. But actually, the easiest way to do that is hit the calendar. I'm going to shift that one off and do that tomorrow. Organize date to do TESOL exam. That's a 2-minute task. I can do that from my phone on the way home. You know, there's little things like that. These are not necessarily that urgent, but you can do things like that. Again, download Armin van Buuren's State of Trance album. That might be something on your commute on the way home. You just open up your music streaming service of choice and just download the album. It's very simple. So this is the way to do the 2+8 prioritization system. You begin with the next 7 days and you prioritize the day before so that when you start the next day, you hit the day running. Okay, another long episode, so I do apologize for that, but hopefully that's given you a way of being realistic about how many tasks you can do, and also a way of making sure you're completing the important tasks each day. Thank you very much for watching this episode. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw and you would like to learn more about becoming better organized and more productive, then get yourself enrolled in my free beginner's guide to creating your own COD system. And if you'd like to learn more about how I can help you, then visit my website at carlpullein.com. All the details are in the show notes below.